Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here. You know what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to discover what is it that would wake us up? What is that pill? What is that prescription that would just wake us up from this sleep? You see, there is truth somewhere. And truth, you would think, would set us all free, or whomever use it would be free. And so for one that have claimed that freedom, who have a message about that freedom and is willing to walk according to that freedom, you would think they have a commitment, an obligation to share. And so what I'm in learning in my life, ladies and gentlemen, I took a little bit of time and decided rather than just pursue me, you know, but check out what it's all about so I can be a different kind of me. Because I could have been a different kind of me. I was a different kind of me. But now I am the me that I am. And there's no shame in my game. What I want you to know is what I learned. I want you to know that there is a God. I'm sure most of you kind of agree with that. You don't know what it really means, but I think most of you would agree with that. What I want you to know is that that God that made you to live, to experience life, to be a part of life. And in the end, you would be alive. That's not happening. The reason that's not happening is because you've been conned, a con. And what it basically means, if I could just break it down in a sentence or two, is that you've been deceived to the degree that what God has offered every last one of you, they want it. But what they decided to do was steal it. Because they don't want to do it, play by God's rule. You know, like Trump don't want to play by America's rule. They don't want to play by God's rule. They want to play with that by their own rule. Because in their rule, just like Trump, if he played by his rule, Trump run things. Trump got it. And in their way, they run things, they got it. But see, if God run things, the people got it. And so what they do, they want a part of it. So that's that 1% of the world who owns everything. While everybody else is like Bangladesh. And but my message is to tell you that God set it up that 1%, what that lifestyle that they're living, that they can do anything that they want to do. God made the world set up in such a way that if you walk according to God's way of thinking, you can experience all of every last one of you can experience there for you. And there won't be no lying, no cheating. There won't be no deception. All that stuff be gone. You don't owe anybody anything because you part owner of everything that exists. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why? Yeah, I tell you this. I tell you this, right? And you will throw an egg at me. But you'll go and get on your knees tonight and pray and ask God out of helping you out of that situation, help you win the lottery. So you can do this and so you can do that. When God said, why should I do that? Why don't you do the right thing? Oh, I can't do the right thing. I've been on the one. I've been on one. See, here's the go, ladies and gentlemen. This is when they say no man can serve two masters or no human being can serve two masters. This is what they're saying. If you are born again, you're talking about being a Christian, you're talking about understanding God and serving God, then the principles that you would listen to, the dictates of a system of government that you would adhere to are those that would produce what God is about. And that's about the elimination of pain and suffering. That's about the elimination of exploitation and hatred. That's about doing the right things to make sure that people get a chance to experience peace, prosperity, freedom, joy, and happiness and get a chance to live their dreams. That, my friend, is what the people of God would stand up and give representation to. And until things change, they might not have nothing. They might not have a bean to scratch, but they know the beans belong to them and they know where they are and they know why they are not accessible to everybody. Because a thief got them. And how is that thief empowered? That thief is empowered by people who over there living according to the dictates of the world that says some are and some aren't. And to hell with everybody else. But you call yourself serving God? How can you serve God like that? Yeah, your needs might be being met, and that might look good. And everybody might praise you, say how wonderful you are, and how loving you are. You stay on the other side, and they might not be able to say nothing decent about you. But that's okay. Right is still right. But anyway, that's what I mean when I say loving two masters. And this is why I talk to you about God's way. See, the thing about God's way is that everybody's protected. Everybody. In the world's way, not everyone is protected. Those who got are protected. And if you ain't got nothing, you ain't protected. People will use you in a heartbeat. They'll break your heart in a heartbeat. They control and manipulate because they got and you don't in a heartbeat. They look, it'll happen in a heartbeat. You won't believe it, but it'll happen in a heartbeat. But you thought so. God says, look, I want it set up so everybody got their own, got access to their own. So no one individual can cause any pain and suffering on another individual. No, no, God ain't gonna want you to do that because with you there having that kind of power, you will mess it up in a minute. So I'm gonna tell you these things, ladies and gentlemen, because I want you to change. I'm tired of you being acting like you ain't got a bit of sense. I don't care how smart you think you are. You're serving Satan. You're serving the devil, and that means I ain't got nothing. So you a thief. Look, I'm not trying to persecute you. I just want you to recognize the truth and wake up and change. Nobody trying to put you in jail, put you in prison. What they gonna do? You didn't know any better. You still don't know any better. And so when you learn and straighten up, the same love that I've always had for you, it's right there for you. Why? Because God requires you. God made you, and we got to respect you. You know, you got to teach you too. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'll leave it there until next time. Eddie Marcus say goodbye for. Is that right? Should I say goodbye for now? Am I missing anything? I sure am, but I'll be back. You know I will. Until then.